My never I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there. I see them yopo.
I was for me mama akwaba at the mobile PENDREAM TV. So me patch up bape bon modern so subscribe to the channel. Mama like it video no emami. What been chebi so message so the beto comment section also as say Eddie Amayen. Abusia a year opinioni Kwasi Pratt Jr. wakasa na ne nsɛm a wɔde ato dwa no. In fact, emu ye du na mepese me no mienu ye bɛkɔ na yakotie nsɛm no. Mempese me yi nsɛm no bi efi na no san sɛ ne nsɛm no bi a wakeka afa priority the elections, during the election, after the elections, ni nsɛm bi asisi abusua. Mepese ye kɔ na yakotie ewo Alhaji Jumadi no so ewo Pan African TV and Radio Gold. Yenko na yenko tie enkomo no emra na yentoa yenkomo no so.
Well, Senator, today I don't intend to speak for a very long time. I intend to speak as short as possible to allow you, the people of La, to express yourselves on this program. And I do that in appreciation to the hundreds of thousands of our listeners and our viewers who have made this program the biggest talk show in Ghana. Now is the time for you to take the microphone and express yourself. Now is the time for you to take the microphone and make your demands on the authorities. Now is the time for you to tell your story of intensified exploitation and oppression. Now is the time to tell the real story of the people of Ghana who were called upon on 7th December to cast their votes. There is nothing which has happened which could not be predicted. Everything which has happened since the election. When the government started packing the Electoral Commission, it must have been obvious that they intended to do something against the law and against the wishes of our people. Everybody knows Professor Abiahini. We have seen videos of him on television campaigning for the New Patriotic Party and actually declaring that he will do everything and anything possible for the NPP to win elections. If a government appoints such a person onto the Electoral Commission, you can predict exactly what the Electoral Commission is going to do. It was clear from the very beginning. If you have a member of the commission come out and say that as far as is concerned, one of the political parties contesting the elections is a danger to democracy, you can predict what the outcome of the elections will be. So, now, if you have an electoral commission which simply looks us in the face and says that we are independent, we are God, we are omnipotent and omnipresent, and so on, we don't listen to the people. Whatever Parliament says is not important. The Constitution makes us independent. You can't predict exactly what is going to happen. If you have an electoral commission and you hear that its IT section is being manned by party loyalists, you can predict what is going to happen. It doesn't take any serious science to predict what is going to happen. So many things have happened in this election, and it should be clear to us that the signs were very, very clear. Now, this election took place against the background of many happenings on the international scene. One of the things that served as a background to this election was simply the Russian-Ukrainian war. And we do know as a fact that this war came about because the West was determined to target Russia, to place its missiles close to Russia so that it can have an attack on Russia and destroy Russia. It had nothing to do with democracy. It had nothing to do with the will of the people of Ukraine and so on. It was the aggression of the NATO countries, clear and simple. This election took place at a time when more than 45,000 Palestinians had been killed by the Israeli colonial apartheid occupier. That has nothing to do with democracy. It has nothing to do with the expression of the will of the people. So if you live in a country where the president declares full support for Israel and Ukraine, you can predict what would happen. And indeed, what has happened is a clear manifestation of the recklessness of the Ukrainian authorities and their backers, and the recklessness of the Israeli authorities hell-bent on committing genocide and so on. It's clear. Now, 10 hours to the elections, something very significant happened. 10 hours to the elections. The Minister of Interior, who thankfully has lost elections, made an announcement that they were closing all land borders. All the land borders were being closed. And I sat back and said, why? It means that if you're a Ghanaian and you're in New York, you can jump onto the plane, come back to Ghana and cast your vote and go back in peace. No problem. If you're a Ghanaian and you are in Bonn, Germany, you can come and cast your vote. But if you're a Ghanaian and you live in Togo, where you can just walk across the border and cast your ballot, you would not be allowed to cast your ballot. What kind of justice is this? What kind of justice is this? So very clearly, we could predict that something was afoot. Now, before this announcement, we knew that practically every elections, before we go to the elections, they will come up and talk to us about secessionist movements in the Volta region. And they will move soldiers there and cause mayhem and do all kinds of things in what is known as voter suppression. Now, those who believe in free and fair elections don't engage in voter suppression. So we knew what was going to happen. But you see, most interesting development before the elections was this young man who says that he's a lawyer, and I have no doubt that he can't be a lawyer, who sat on television and told us that, look, this election, you can vote anyhow you want. But when you finish voting, we will command our drafts to change the election results. Can't you see the drafts have been commanded? There's a vigorous attempt to change the will of the people. Those may be the drafts. So it's clear what they intended to do. Then they looked us in the face and told us that, look, as for elections, there are 1 million ways of winning elections. There's only one way of winning elections. Put the ballot box down, let the people express their will, count it at the end, declare winners. That is how elections are conducted. But they told us that apart from that one way, legitimate legal way of winning elections, they had 900,000 and more other ways of winning the elections. We are seeing those ways of winning elections being put into practice. But unfortunately for them, the people of Ghana are so wide awake that those 1 million ways will not work. We would not allow the 1 million ways to work. And the will of the people has been expressed and will be the law of this country. Nobody today can change the fact that John Dramani Mahama won the election and is president-elect, and on 7th January 2025 will swear the oath of office as President of the Republic of Ghana. Nothing is going to change that. Nothing is going to change the fact that today in Parliament, the New Patriotic Party is a very small minority. Nothing is going to change that fact. Indeed, nothing is going to change the fact that for the first time in our history, a presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party was scoring 0, 0, 0, 0 in many polling stations. Nothing will change that fact. I don't want to spend my time on the complaints of the parts. There are many complaints, legitimate complaints. The increasing price of petroleum products, the suffering of taxi and trotro drivers, the fact that the La General Hospital was broken, the general misery that people suffered. In spite of the loud claims about free SHS, we know the children were being fed with unwholesome food. We know that. So we know all those things. And I'm not going to dwell on that. I like to dwell on now, today, and tomorrow. That's the most important thing. And I think it should be very clear to those who won the elections. Those who won the elections. President-elect John Dramani Mahama. The parliamentarians who won the elections and so on. It should be very clear to them that a new Ghanaian has arrived on the scene, and that new Ghanaian is not stupidly partisan. If you don't perform, we will throw you out of office. And that message must sound very clear and loud to those who won the elections. I've been watching television and I've been listening to radio, and I'm shocked by some of the things I'm hearing from big men and women who have won elections. The teasing is too much. They are teasing those who lost the elections. For what? Worry, oh, worry, and so on. Stupid! Worry today. You have won. Come and tell us what you are going to do to improve our conditions of life. And stop the unnecessary foolish teasing. I want to see people who are coming into government today telling us that all hands are needed on deck. Every Ghanaian has to make sacrifices in order for us to move forward. They should be telling us that every Ghanaian, irrespective of your political party, irrespective of who you voted for and so on, is needed to rescue this country from bankruptcy. Because this country is bankrupt. This country is broke. Look, our accounts are in the negative. There is no money anywhere. The other time I was listening to President John Dramani Mahama, President-elect, and he was saying that, look, we owe the independent power producers $2.5 billion. That's how much we owe them. The loan we are going for from the IMF is $3 billion. So if you pay the independent power producers alone, the money is virtually finished. So this is the time to think. This is the time to act. This is the time to mobilize and so on. This is the time to put our shoulders to the wheel in order to ensure that in 2028, what the NPP is suffering today will not be suffered by the NDC or any other political party or leadership in the future. That is where we ought to be. And I want to pray. I want to join my brother Chumbuafo in urging especially the young men who are coming into government. They should learn from what happened to the NPP. Arrogance will take them nowhere. Arrogance. That's useless bluffing. Your wife's birthday, you take her to dinner, and then you take video to come and show us. Who cares how your wife celebrates her birthday? Or you go to Dubai, you take first class in a plane, you go to Dubai, and you go and Miliki, and you take videos to come and show us. You are an idiot.
Simple.
Because we don't care. What we want to see done is for the conditions of lives of our people to improve. What we want to see done is for the General Hospital at La to be rebuilt. What we want to see is that those who are stolen lands at trade fair sites, the lands are taken from them and utilized in the public interest. That is what we want. Stop bluffing. Stop raising your shoulders. You are nobodies. You are like all of us. None of you is superior to the people who voted for you. And that message must go out loud and clear. You see, John Mahama has a huge headache, huge problem. And we are the only people who can help him to solve that problem. Everybody wants some appointment. Everybody. 38 million Ghanaians, everybody wants to be ambassador, everybody wants to be minister, everybody wants to be deputy minister, everybody wants to be everything. And they will tell you about how they sacrifice and work hard for the party to win. So, you worked hard for the party to win so that you can become Lord over us. I'm sorry. I am sorry. That's not why we listened to you. We didn't listen to you because you want to be minister, or you want to be chief executive of Bost, or you want to be chief executive of Tema Oil Refinery and so on. That's not why we listened to you. We listened to you because over a period of 7 years, the price of Kenke had risen from 50 pesos to 5 cedis. We listened to you because the price of rice had quadrupled. We listened to you because we could no longer afford health care. We listened to you because our roads are bad. We listened to you because we wanted a new leadership, a new sincere leadership, a new visionary leadership. We didn't listen to you because you want to become national security coordinator. Go to hell. That's not what this government was voted into power. And President-elect John Dramani Mahama is going to need your support to say no to all these kinds of peoples who are going to make his work exceedingly difficult. Exceedingly difficult. You need to become the backbone of this new revolution which is about to unfold. Dear friends, I am fully aware of the role that this constituency has played in Ghanaian politics. Ladade Kotopon has always been on the side of the progressive forces. This is a constituency which stood behind Osadefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah when he started his most ambitious development plans. This is a constituency which stood behind Osadefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah when he declared his intention to unite the whole of Africa under one single continental government. This constituency has never been on the side of bomb throwers and crooks. So we come here in salute to the people of this constituency who know what is right and would help in doing what is right. We come here to salute you, and it is my pleasure to put the microphone down so that you can express yourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yo, wenti abusha for a year Owura Kwasi Pratt Junior and Yakofa na no din sem free a year Alhaji and Alhaji Jumadi no so ewo ebra omode call la mpatam na moamutie ensem Owura Kwasi Pratt e de atoto dwa. I think that emu eyedu, and I expect whoever has ears to listen. As I say, media debia no me kase. If I nya me kra na me ka mpanyifo kase abaye de botechi to me the boba, ye to me the boba. What you say? Nye debia na de boba, but ye to me the boba, because bia na nye techi ye no ba ankoye sa ba ankoye a ene say enya ade a ye de bebo no enti abaye de botechi no ye to me the boba. Aha, enti no mesre say the SC ewo Ghana politics, especially in this recent elections, ye nyina yakono. It was say ye nyina ye disua lessons. especially the NDC now, yet to me a winning power abano. Was see a great lesson. Since I was for ye nyinaa te kurom ha ana ɔman mu ye de ani ahu de kwan a ye MPP for the Ghana for the faso. In fact, omu treaty ye te say racks and as me kan say ntomago. Omu treaty ye say nkrofo asabio ye jimi a ye nimu nyansa ye nim ne ye pe. Nkrofo a ase obi a woni ne bate na ne ba na se daddy common dem na ma common dem o se common dem chinji akwala na se common dem o se there be common dem mama aduani adi akwala no se there be minyanya hwindi ye common dem na wo insist say chinchi na akwala no common dem no nti eba na sa na ebesia na sa akwala no beko akọ hwia wa abonten what you say bi obedna ma abonten bedane akwala boni anhwe bedane efe skobolo ne ho ade what you say epic sa kwani bi na MPP for the faso yes comedy you empenyfo is common demo yes e da dum so mu enkonfo say da bi mu nda dum so mu enko yes efe ne sen ye nya nsuo ye pipe dundundun mo say da bi pipe e flow sa yes nyoma boy de omo say da bi opa bra efe sen aduane boy de omo say oboa opa bra ministries ni akosesa plantains body ni de akogu ministries momra ho no sa mo say nyoma boy de momra na momba to bi ho chese de obeka bia no enkrofo yi enam kwan like they are virtually insulting you. They are insulting your intelligence. Yes, dollar cost almost a yes in Canano. Dollar free 4 CDs. And then I'm 17 CDs now for TT radio and TV so a percentage compare percentage now a yes in NDC a pencil or compare percentage yes just Kwasi some kwa. What is motivating them to be doing that? Abusia ohwe kwan yo mo faso de o mo nsa bo mo bu ekasa all of a sudden o mampinya be dane kabia nkabi na ye nkamasem to meet tia hemfo ke kanse hunu bi a kire sabe nkrofo o ka kire eyi efe ne sen eyi nkrofo a sabio ensu afa omo ewo voter adan ya monto aba mamenti no bia mo ankasa aban adwuma refo akoe mistake ama ensu akofa nkrofo ekum nkrofo asem nkrofo ajapade was mo akugina ho no mo se mo monto mind ke ni kwanse yefi mu eni kwanse nka me ba hampo esansa monto aba mame former president ni fiefo ekonfi Professor Mills the fiefo about nchen the petition abeto anim no wa catch them say the deputy minister bremo me mam deputy minister anso so man to aba manti na me so mayi mani amamo o mampanyini etumi kotena Peace FM eto nanum tuo keka Kwasi asem kire aflawo hine say so onisika onko no onfa nkosi dan no ontimi ntena ba bi otena no en commande ono aban say omeye ni school dan ma no na omampanyina kotena Kwabere East wa Ashanti region say epe kwan yu o say ma me kwan na ma ya o say ma me kwan na ma ya beto atia ma o say obeto atia me de mfa me ho sabe enyame na mesom nsa mokokuru mutidi akotim bibi so sa wo say me obi antimi hu na me o pese o to abama NDC af kona koto mo abama NDC I don't care o man penyin be ni na sabio akaka ben sem prekope abehye umusa ma wo feel say wo no you are too superior than everybody in this county obi a ye de ope o man ni mabusia obi a du baby no o man ni obi a ye de ope MPP ni bi a ye de ope say there is no order there is no order in the county a Ghana for the money to me at the drink of team to me a fan of team They were consumed by power. They were drunk by power. Adintra. Because nipa no watena so a minister watena so be sebe 8 years ni obi anfa ne nsanka no. Enti no ofili too entitled. Ne omo pe e na omo ye. Enti eno ne di abufuo be she Ghana fo. Enti yen NDC fu anyame ama ya kwanya ye di abetena akonya no so abusuafo yen hwehwe saa nyoma we ni emfantu ye ho fo me nyame adom saa platform we ye de be ye adwuma de aboa NDC ama NDC agina ne nan so brane, and we will make sure say we biara we minister, deputy minister, an appointee, a communicator with TV, radio, wherever na sebi ye akakabe nsem bi ama ye hu se we suni ban bi a wo da na di no emwa party na ye be use platform we e dey draw attention. Yes, ye be use platform we dey draw attention. Ye nka se MPP for ye bi ntini yeso ye be ye bi there bi ye wo the MPP for ye ya yeso ye be ye bi eno there we will do some. What you say na mo si ye de Ghana for anim be twiri form there never. Because omo na tumi no ekura omo na tumi ni ye omo dia sesebi ye de Ghana fo sika ebe dane agro die na ye de wi ma ne ye de ne nam din kwasi asem wo man nim chese obi wi bi de hihye mpaase ne ho ensi ene de ensi ye ma ho kwan and no say President Mahama would never koto to that offense saying things I want a mambu never uncle to it. And the abushafo and neya mene mo kasa idie person mumma ye nyinara e kan ya adwene boom ye kan ye ti boom kan ya ye nyina ye ho boom na ye make sure say Ghana ebetumi afa yem to mapa afra under President John Evans Atta President John Dramani Mahama. Nyame fa President Mills ne kra nsi or my godfather until sometimes me kasa ya na metabo ne din mo. Nyame emfa ne kra nsi na omanpanyi John Dramani Mahama de nyame enhye ne nkyene. Nyame mbie na adwene ne ntiase aniwa. Nyame mbie na adwene nyansa hode ma Solomon. Nyame mfa double triple quadruple mfa hye mu. Na nyame nam no so nsesa the foundation of this county. Nyame nam no so mfa 4 years or the dan anim no onfa 10 things around ma wiase nyina ani embedded Ghana so say hey what is happening here in Ghana na ifri sabre no ko no Ghana yinsi yi di kwan so abusuafo o ko nkuto dwani ma kai Ghana sufre onyankopon afa Ghana e hye ne nsa enim say yedie shira ene mpuntu ewo Ghana anim PENDREAM TV so ena wohwe abusua mesho se wo adwenkyere bia fato comment section na say na subscribe to the channel mesra won subscribe ya subscribe mine ebo adwuma no madwuma no tumpon e mine it is on subscribe ade na e was red won sanifa ase ho no mo red subscribe ya cho subscribe mesra nyame edi nyame pa cho no wa subscribe e di amine nyame enhira no onka ho say abreni abibia no oba PENDREAM na obehwe news nyina e wa ha no PENDREAM TV yes edamu yopo
dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase na so far so good say open online portal e wo Ghana nipa share nipa follow nipa comment here to my best of knowledge without any biases PENDREAM TV